Hello, namaste, welcome, good morning, good afternoon, or maybe even good evening in whichever part of the world you are joining us from. My name is Deepak R. Khemani and I am the co-founder of Bloom. Bloom is the brainchild of Miss Payal Irani. Bloom is a flower that has blossomed and is spreading its fragrance across the globe. At Bloom, we are into physical and mental wellness, trainings, speaking engagements, and creating signature workshops for corporates and individuals desirous of going to the next level. Our signature programs, psychogeometrics, NLP, POSH, POXO, investing, wealth creation, employee engagement are our top selling programs. At Bloom, we are catering to each and every aspect where we will be creating masterpieces. Bloom has a powerful and a dynamic team which has been handpicked. They are the who's who in their respective domains and industry veterans with 200 plus years of accumulated experience. At Bloom, we strongly believe in co creation, collaboration, and teamwork. I invite each and every one of you to be a part of Bloom, where together we grow, and as Bloom blossoms, it creates ripples the world over. Let me introduce my co host, Dr. Neeta Mhatre Mishra. She is also a co founder of Bloom. I will ask her to introduce our guest today. Over to you, Dr. Neeta.
Thank you, Deepak sir, and a very warm welcome, Lucy, to the most beautiful space here in Bloom. So, as Deepak sir has mentioned, that we all together came up and we actually bloomed and blossomed together. And Bloom is not only creating those ripple effects only for the team Bloom, but is really creating that ripple effects outside the community, in the society, and across the globe. And we are so glad and delighted to have our amazing guest, Lucy Yates, who is originally from Turkey but lives in Israel. So, welcome, Lucy. And a short, I know it is very small brief about you because you have abundance of experience. And
Thank
definitely our audience are going to experience that. But I want a few lines which I would love to talk about you. So, Lucy, you are a certified Heal Your Life teacher and a life coach based on the philosophy of Louis Hay. I really love Louis Hay and I religiously and diligently do the affirmations. So, Heal Your Life is a globally known coaching practice. Lucy organizes life changing workshops and one on one sessions, and she has also an online coaching services, which very soon will also be a collaborative team effort from Bloom 2, and we are going to welcome you in our space. So, without wasting 1 minute, Lucy, I hand it over to you. Let us see what is that surprise of abundance in store for us.
thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for introducing me. And I'm very excited to be a part of Bloom. I'm so excited to talk about my topic, introduce my topic, which is how to control our negative reactions, which is something very important for all of us because we all have negative reactions to this world and to the people around us in a daily basis. So, when we talk about negative reactions, of course, we have so many different types of negative reactions, but I particularly want to talk about one reaction that is anger. I want to talk about today because this is something that bothers to the whole world, I think. So when we talk about the negative reactions, today my topic is how to control our anger. So my question is, first, we get angry, okay? We all get angry, but do we actually know why we get angry and how we get angry? So do we actually know what is the cause of our anger? Because what you think can be only the surface, okay? When you answer this question, maybe the people who are listening to us, they're going to just shoot an answer, but this answer is only the answer that is on the surface. But if we identify the real cause of our anger, then we can really overcome our emotions and deal with our reactions. So how you handle a situation is not entirely your choice. Things happen, okay? But how you handle yourself is entirely your choice. So to be aware of what's happening inside us is a life-changing remedy to control our reactions. So in our daily life, we are in interactions with a lot of people in our lives. We have clients, we have family, we have social people, we have people in the street. So we are in interaction with a lot of people. And sometimes in the daily basis, some things happen and some things trigger us, push our buttons, and we get angry. What are when we get angry, what happens? What do? We sometimes shout, we yell, sometimes we curse, sometimes we throw things. It depends on the situation, it depends on the culture. Of course, this is something very, very cultural. It depends on what kind of a background you come from, so your reactions may vary from one culture to another. But what happens when we give these reactions afterwards? What happens? Sometimes we feel sorry, sometimes we regret, and sometimes we give promises to ourselves and we say that, okay, I'm not going to do it again, it was a mistake, next time I'm going to change my reaction, I'm not going to do it again. So we feel sorry, we feel guilty, sometimes we feel disappointed with ourselves, and we sometimes promise that it won't happen again. However, people focus on their behavior only when they want to change the situation. So they want to change the behavior directly. But to be able to change the behavior, you need to understand, as I said in the beginning, what's happening inside me that I'm giving this reaction. Okay, first of all, before that, you need to realize, what does my reaction serve my relation? How does my reaction serve my relationships? Okay, I'm giving these reactions. Okay, I get angry, and how does it serve my relation? What's happening? So does it serve or does it ruin my relationship? So you need to understand. And you need to understand that if I change my behavior, if I change my reaction, how will this serve my heal my relationship, heal myself and heal my relationship, or maybe heal the whole world? Okay, not only me and my people that I interact with, the whole world. How is it gonna heal? This is very important, you know, this to understand the payoffs and what I'm gonna gain if I change my behavior. This is very important. And then to be able to change my behavior, what are the steps? Let's talk about the steps, how we can, step by step, how we can control our reactions. So, step one, I can call step one. First of all, you need to take responsibility of your reactions, because what generally happens is that when something happens and we get angry, we tend to blame the situation and we tend to blame the other people around that we get angry with. We say, it's your fault, you did this to me, you made me feel that way, blah, 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 blah. So you give the responsibility to the people around you or to the situation. So you say that you are the cause of my anger. Okay? But if we say something like this, do we know what is happening here, what we do by saying this? We say that you have the remote control of my feelings. So you are going to decide how I'm going to feel. So I have no control of my emotions. I have no control of my feelings and my anger or my reactions. You have the control. And in this way, I say that I am very powerless. You are the powerful person in front of me, of my life. And I'm very powerless because I have no control on myself. But if we say that, okay, I get angry, something happened and I get angry, so this is my responsibility to understand what these are happening. Okay, why I came to this point. Why do I have this kind of relationship with this person? Okay, what is happening inside me? So step one is taking the responsibility. Okay, it's my feelings, it's my reactions, it's me who's going to work on this and heal my emotions and the thinkings and the reactions and my life and relationship. Okay, so I am the owner of my feelings and my reactions. This is step one, which is very, very, very important. That's why I put it as a first step. So by saying that I'm responsible, we are not saying that you change, then I will change. So it's the other way around. First, I am going to change, I will change, and maybe the whole world will change for me. Okay, so this is the result of the first step if we do not miss the first step. So what is step two? I can say that, first of all, it's very important to make a list of the things that trigger you. I actually tell my clients, take a pen and a paper and to write down all the things that trigger them. but it doesn't have to be just take a pencil and pen, paper and write down. During the day, when you have all the interactions with people, just realize and right at that moment, something happened, that happened, he said this to me, and it triggered me, okay? And I became unbalanced, okay? I was not in my balance, so I just wanted to give a negative reaction, okay? Make a list of the things. Why this is this important? Because if we know, and if when we do it, for example, the whole week, we see that there are very important parts that are in common. And we come to a point that we can group some of the things, and we realize that the things that trigger me are under a few topics, okay? And maybe we can group all of them, and maybe we can have 3 main topics. Why is it important? Because we understand that these are the things that I need to work on myself. And when I write down, when again something like this happens, I'm not going to be unprepared. I'm going to prepare because I know myself. It was on the list, and I know how to figure it out. I know the steps, and it's not going to be a total surprise for me. So in time, when you do that over and over and over again, so you understand that every day it's going to be less and less and less. Knowing yourself and having the responsibility of knowing yourself is really, really very important. Okay, step three, especially when something happens, I always say that the first step is stop. I always stop and take a deep breath. And if you are not in a hurry to give this reaction, really take a deep breath and take your time. Sometimes maybe it is 1 minute, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes an hour, sometimes a day, or maybe sometimes more than a week. So why is this important? Because when you take a deep breath and take your time and think about what is happening inside you, leads you to realize that your reaction doesn't have to be like this. So you can gain some time and have the opportunity to give a better reaction, okay? More healing reaction. And this is very, very precious. Sometimes even I say that when we stop and take a moment, take a deep breath and take your time, I always sometimes say that, okay, make a sign for yourself. For example, sometimes for me, it's touching my heart, okay? Touching my heart. When I get angry and stop and touch my heart, it reminds me that I need to take a deep breath, and I need to slow down, and I need to give my reaction out of my heart, okay? So this is, for me, it's a more loving reaction. It reminds me of. The next step is realizing your emotions. Emotions are very important. If you have a reaction, it means that you have a certain emotion, and that's why you are giving this reaction. So it's very important. What is the emotion that I have right now? These are the very important questions, like what is that I'm lacking right now? For example, do I feel unsafe? Do I feel unworthy? Do I feel not enough? Do I feel disappointed, not safe? These are, or not loving. Okay, so I feel unloved. That's why I'm giving this reaction. So it's very important. And believe me, if you make a group of the people, there are actually 5 or 6 emotions that trigger you. It's like, unloved, unworthy, not enough, and disappointed, not safe. So a couple of emotions that are in common. So it's important to know these emotions. Why? Because most probably these emotions are not about the situation and about the person that you are interacting with. It's about yourself. It's coming from your childhood, that you have been carrying all these emotions with you. So it's a good sign for us, because it gives you a sign that I can work on myself. I can work on my unworthiness. I can work on my I'm not enough, or I'm not safe. So it's a good sign for us to make healing progress about ourselves, to work on ourselves. Okay, and the next step, if you have these emotions, it means that you have certain thoughts that that leads you to those emotions. So it's always like that. Thought comes first, and then that thought triggers your emotions, and when you have those emotions, you have the reactions. So it's very important to realize your thoughts. So I always say, what does that person say, and what do you hear? Because sometimes what he says doesn't mean that it's the same as what you hear. So you hear generally the common thoughts that you have. Again, he made me unworthy. He made me feel unsafe. He made me feel not enough. So this is all the time something that we have in our brain, that is our thoughts. So when you have realized that thought, heal your life, Louis Hay, the first philosophy is change your thoughts and change your life. Okay, so once you realize your thoughts, and once you work on where do these thoughts come from, as I said, I don't want to get into this deep because it's another topic. So these thoughts most probably are coming from your childhood. So when you reprogram your brain and change your thoughts, you can change your feelings, emotions, and you can change your reactions too. So these are the steps, and there are 3 more questions that you can ask yourself when trying to heal your reactions, which is, the first one is, what is my purpose of my reaction? This is a very, very important question. I like the question why. Why? Why? What is my purpose of my reaction? Am I trying to solve a problem here? Okay? Am I trying to find a solution here, or am I in the problem still and trying to my intention is to make the person to feel bad. Okay? Am I really fighting here? Am I trying to win the battle here, or am I trying to find a solution to the problem? This is a very good question. And the second question is this the right time to talk about this right now? It's a very, very important question as well, because we tend to, for example, discuss things when we are in a hurry, early in the morning, when we are very tired, when we have very short time. Okay, so sometimes it's not a very good time to discuss. So if we realize that, okay, this is happening, I feel triggered, I feel unbalanced, but this is not a good time to talk about this question, the problem. And of course, if we say that, okay, I want to find a solution to that problem, and this is not a good time, I'm going to do it later on. And the third one is, do I want to be met by the energy I'm offering right now? Because when we get angry and when we give that negative reactions, most probably we're going to be met with the same kind of reaction. Okay, so am I ready? Okay, do I want to have this energy or negative energy around me, or do I want more loving heart-to-heart interaction here and create a better energy? Okay. And one last thing, which is very important. When you realize these kind of things, I always tell my clients, realizing things is very important. But after you realize these things, it's also important how to behave yourself after you realize these things. Because when you realize these things, we tend to get angry with ourselves. We tend to criticize ourselves, blame ourselves. We don't like ourselves when we feel that we're not enough, or when we feel that we're not safe. Okay, so it's important. First, realize, then forgive yourself. Okay, you can, I understand you, make an empathy for, with yourself. And third one, can I have a better reaction? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucy. I mean, these last 25, 28 minutes, we were just enthralled, in what you were talking. You started from the basic. You told us first identify where the problem is, then think, why am I giving out this reaction? And then wonder that, is this the negative energy I want coming back to me? So this has been a wonderful 20, 25 minutes to listen to you. However, I now have a few questions around what you said, and I would like to, love to get your reaction. Basically, human beings, we are always told that we have this reptilian brain, the amygdala. It is always thinking about fight or flight. Okay?
Yes.
As humans, we've been around for a few thousand years. But on this planet, there is this millions of years of evolution that has happened. So how do we erase this amygdala, or how do we reprogram it so that it understands this? This is all negativity, getting angry, getting upset is just coming back to me. How do we reprogram it?
Okay, so of course there are different types of methods you can do it, but I can only talk about what I do with my clients in my workshops and one-to-one sessions,
Yes.
I always say that identify your story. I call it a story, okay? Because every human being as an adult, we give the reactions based on our stories, that these stories are programmed in our childhood. Okay, so
Yes.
we start generally to understand how was this story shaped in our childhood. So we from A to Z, we talk about from my childhood, what did I believe about myself, about the people around you, about the money, about relationship, about creativity, about every topic in our lives, what the definitions in our story. So,
Yeah.
and I call it a story. And then we just look at that story and say which ones serve me, which ones serve me, which ones don't serve me, and I want to change. Okay, so this is the basic, and then we start by doing a lot of inner child work. I do a lot of inner child work. The reason why I do this, because first we must make that little child believe that her or his story
Yeah.
can be different. Okay, with a lot of meditative work and different types of techniques and tools. First, we start with the inner child, and then in time, with all the affirmations and visualizations, we work on changing the story to the best version that serves us.
Yes, yes, indeed. And it is said, be teachable, be learnable, and never let the child inside you die. As long
Yes,
as your inner child is alive and kicking and happy, you can always easily reprogram, make him or her learn again, and then become a better person. Very well
definitely,
said. Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you, Lucy. My
Thank
next question, logical question is, most of the times, the things that upset us, where we get angry, are things that are not in our control. It could be the government, it could be the weather, it could be raining. Today it is hot, tomorrow it is too cold. I was speaking to him or her, she did not listen to me. My wife doesn't talk to me, and so many other things. There are so many things which are beyond our control. How it is impossible to bring them into our control. But in your beginning thing, in that 25 minutes, you touched upon a few things. So how do I come out of this problem where I'm unable to control the external environment, but I can control myself?
Yes, I think I can say that whatever happens, if we are giving a really very sudden reaction, unbalanced reactions, it means that whatever is happening, we take it personally.
Yeah.
So when for example something happens governmentally, we start a government instead of saying government blah 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 blah, we say that because of the government, they made me, it's about
Yes.
me. You take it personally, and that
Yeah.
is the reason why you generate those emotions that I'm not safe. For example, I'm not safe there is very important emotion. And the second is that I always say, when something really triggers you, you most probably have a kind of traumatic background about that particular thing. Okay, for example, um, for a female, for example, reaction to a male, okay, maybe comes from the childhood, from the father, that that person doesn't feel protected. Okay, I need to protect myself. Okay, there is danger here, and the danger is to me. Okay, so most probably it's because again of the childhood again. All right. So as I told you before in the beginning, if you realize what kind of things trigger you step by step, and it's important to know you, okay, all the weaknesses and strengths, you know, to be able to face everything, to have the courage to face yourself. If you know yourself bravely, you can always find a space to heal yourself.
Yeah, I think this was a wonderful answer. You know, they are not happening only to you. It's not that the government wanted to do something to you. And you know what? Why did I raise the government? You know, you are in Israel and you must be knowing this. Every 2 3 years, the government changes. A new person is elected, and that fellow stays for 2 or 3 years, and the previous guy again comes back and becomes the prime
Yes,
minister.
yes, definitely. Yes.
Yes,
Sometimes
yes.
in a traffic, for example, okay, why did he stop like this? Okay, I was like, are you in a hurry? No. Okay. Do I need to go somewhere very, you know, urgently? No. So why are you getting angry? Because
Yeah,
how come that he did this to me? But he doesn't even know you. It's not about you.
yeah.
It's about him, you know.
Yes, yes. You know, and when you spoke about traffic, I remember every time if you are caught in a traffic jam and if you manage to change your lane, the lane you change from starts moving faster and the lane you are
Everything
in.
is about energy. Everything is because you're carrying your energy to that place.
And I'm sure it happens with everyone, so it doesn't happen only with me.
Definitely, definitely.
Yes, yes, yes. So, I mean, such a wonderful discussion happening. Dr. Neeta, do you have anything to ask Lucy
Yes,
before I
yes.
open up to the audience? Yes.
Yes, so there is one very particular question when you were giving us the 5 steps. And in the
Yes,
5th step, you did tell about forgiveness.
yes,
And I understand that forgiveness is not about the other person, but it is all about yourself.
yes.
But I want to ask you a logic question. How do I realign my thought to forgive myself as well as the other person?
Okay. So of course it's a very good question. Thank you. You're asking very good questions. Thank you very much. Um, Especially on that forgiveness, on that part, I just wanted to mean that um, when you find something about yourself, behave yourself with self-compassion. Don't, you know, blame yourself and you did it again. You see, you always do the same things over and over again. So I use the forgiveness like behaving yourself with more self, you know, compassionately. Okay, this was my topic. But your question about forgiveness is a whole big topic, and I do a lot of forgiveness in my sessions as well, as much as I do inner child, because once you heal your past, you can really be in the present moment and create your future. That's why it's important to heal the past. Um, I think people do not know what exactly means forgiveness, and they don't think that it's about your freedom. It's about your freedom. It's not, you know, it doesn't change what happened. if there was a mistake, it doesn't change the mistake again. And it's not going to change the whole past. Okay, past was in the past. But if that past, if that anger identifies my life, okay, and affects how I'm going to behave in the present moment and create my future, it means that you are stuck there. So for me, forgiveness is, healing the past and focusing on the present. This is how I define it. And of course, we need to do a lot of work on that as well, about forgiveness. But the definition is very important here.
Thank you, Lucy, because this is so important. What I understand when I reflect back with my past, or when I reflect back when I listen to some of my clients, I know that it is so important. Unless you do not finish your unfinished business of the past, you can't move ahead.
Definitely, I agree with you.
It is very, very important, and it is not about anyone else, but it is for your own soul journey.
Definitely, it's a freedom, really.
Yes. I have one more question for you, because we are seeing the millennials. We are also seeing the Zen generation, Generation Z. How can we inculcate this self-compassion, this self-love into our generation today? Because they are our future leaders, and they are the global citizens, because we all have become global now, and we all can tell that we are virtually contributing into each and everyone's lives now. So how can we teach this small little self-compassion, talking about self-love, talking about self-awareness to the generation today?
That's a very, very nice question. Thank you very much. I can say that I think the most problematic part is when it comes to your emotions. People tend to avoid their emotions, especially when they have negative emotions, or even with the nice ones. Even I say it's not negative or positive emotions. Emotion is an emotion, and we should allow ourselves to feel them and to identify them. And for example, the generation right now, when you ask how they feel, they say good, bad, not good. But bad means a lot. There are so many other words underlying that bad or good. So if we can encourage the children, the next generation, to be able to identify their emotions and allow them to face them. Okay, I am disappointed right now. I feel very unworthy right now. Okay, even I feel jealous. People are afraid of being even jealous. Okay, it's a bad thing. Oh, I'm not that person, But you can be even jealous. Okay, and I'm very excited. Okay, not good or bad. And sometimes, if we are brave to identify them, then we can really be more compassionate with our feelings, and we don't criticize ourselves, we don't blame ourselves, and we say that it's okay to feel that way. For example, we can encourage the child. I feel disappointed. Oh, there's nothing to be disappointed of. Do this and do that, blah, blah, blah. Instead, just, okay, I understand you. It's okay to feel disappointed. And once the child hears this, he feels that, okay, I'm not, a bad person, or I'm not, different from everybody, every other people around the world. Okay, I'm not alone. People can have these feelings. Okay, and this is the first step of the self-compassion. Identify and to say that it's okay to feel that way. I embrace my feelings. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Deepak sir, you are on mute. So maybe you can open the forum for the questions.
Yes, yes. Thank you for reminding me. So wonderful questions and superb answers. Before I open up for questions and answers directly from the audience, there is a big announcement. And this is what is coming up from Bloom. I will be sharing my screen, and this is the big announcement, that is the first live talk show of Bloom. We've had 66 consecutive online Sunday programs, and that continues. But our first live talk show, which will be there, done in physical, in person, with live streaming, with Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai. Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai needs no introduction. He is the modern day Chanakya. He is an author of number of best-selling books. He is a motivational speaker, a leader, a coach, a mentor. You will all get a chance to be in that room with Dr. Radhakrishnan Pillai. Save the date. It is happening on the 19th of December this year. More details will follow. It's going to be a strictly first come, first served, by invite only program. Stay tuned. If anyone from the audience would like to ask any question to Lucy, please unmute yourself and ask her directly, or you could type on the chat. Lata, Brenda, Natasha, anyone.
There is already a question from Brenda. Deepak sir, if you can just scroll down. There's already
Okay, so let me read out that question from Brenda.
I think it's about the inner child.
Okay. In the meantime, if anybody has a question, you can ask. By the time, I will just search it in the chat.
So I have already had Brenda's question. So
Yes,
Lucy,
please
her
read. Yeah.
question is inner child work. Can you please elaborate?
Can I please?
Yes, yes. Can you
elaborate on the inner child? On the inner child.
In the inner child. Yeah. So first of all, we start with talking about the home that we were born, okay, and with a lot of different types of questions, we really shape what kind of a home, what kind of an environment that child came from. Okay, so it's just an important step. And then we understand, as I said in my explanations, we identify the story there about all the topics in life. And then there are different types of meditation types of things with, I can say, with a picture of a childhood. We get in touch with that child about the feelings, about the emotions, and about the definitions. And we get in touch with that child, and we try to, that child most probably, he feels unsafe, he feels unworthy, he feels not enough. And as an adult, we take the responsibility to change the child's feelings. It's just the meditative work that we do. Once that child feels safe, the story starts changing. Yes?
Yes, Lata, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Lucy, this is what we were talking about, forgiveness. I go back to the forgiveness part of it. Like sometimes you realize that you have done something wrong. You forgive yourself. You sort of talk to the other person whom you feel you have done something wrong. Admit that occurred, it was my mistake. I realize it. But please forgive me. but the other person is not ready or not mature enough to understand, he or she says, no, I can't forget what you have done to me and I can never forgive you. So what do you do at that time? When the person is not ready to forgive you?
Yeah, it's a very good question, but sometimes when we do forgiveness exercises and deep, really intensive work, we say that it's not trying to convince the other person. Okay, sometimes we don't even for example, we write anger letters, we give out our angers to ourselves or to the other person, but the person doesn't even know. The person doesn't even get those letters or
Vibes.
reactions, and our first aim is not trying to prove to that person that it's not our fault. It's only about you and yourself. It's something individual that you forgive yourself, because you cannot control that person.
Exactly.
Okay? Yeah, that person is responsible about his or her feelings, and we shouldn't judge that person as well. We shouldn't say, oh, he didn't believe me, or he doesn't forgive me. This is not a reaction from love as well. Okay, so you're judging that person, okay, because you're controlling the person how he's gonna feel. Okay, once you make yourself believe that I did my best, and I made a mistake, and I'm forgiving myself, this is done there. Okay, we shouldn't have the expectation to make the other person believe and
Right.
change his or her behavior.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anyone else has any question?
I think the explanations were so good that we don't have any questions.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Yeah, she's explained. She's taken us through that whole process so very
Yes.
well. Starting with step 1, step 2, step 3, and then logically your question where you ask, there is somebody who's not ready to forgive yourself. The fact that you forgive I've forgiven myself. Clearly, those vibes will go out in the universe. That energy will go out, and we will find that that person will get back to us and probably understand where we were coming from. So things will change. Things will happen. Yeah.
Definitely.
Hope so.
If there are no more questions, I would like to thank Lucy for taking time out on a Sunday morning. She has joined us live from Israel.
Oh,
She is
wow.
currently in Israel. This is morning over here. It's afternoon, nearing lunchtime for all of us in Mumbai. The last 1 hour, I will say, that has been well spent. And Lucy, in collaboration with Bloom, will be offering a few of her coaching and training programs for a select audience online, and hopefully going ahead offline also in the near future. So stay tuned for such announcements coming up. On behalf of the full team at Bloom and the audience, I would like to thank Lucy once again for joining in, sharing her experience with us. And we would love for you to be back on the Bloom platform with us again soon.
Soon.
So,
Yes.
yes. Payal, before we close, Payal.
Where are you from, Lucy? Where are you from? Otherwise, you are at the moment in Israel.
Turkey. I'm
Turkey.
From Turkey.
Turkey. Yes.
Turkey. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Payal.
It was very enjoyable talk
Thank
with me. Very powerful, very intimate and nice. And thank you for having me here to
you.
have this.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, beautiful audiences.
See you soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Bye.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day, everyone. Bye.